You know, it really feels like AI is finally growing up. We've all been watching it, right? It's moving out of the research lab and, well, into our living rooms. But what happens when a technology this powerful stops being a cool experiment and starts becoming a real, fundamental part of our world? So that's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
So, what does it even mean for AI to grow up? Well, it means it gets a job, it goes to school, and yeah, it starts making some serious money. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi prediction, it is happening right now. AI is quickly becoming our collaborator, our teacher, and the engine of a whole new economy. Let's start with how it's changing our day-to-day lives.
All right, first up, let's look at how AI is evolving from a simple tool that you just give commands to into something more like a genuine partner that you collaborate with, both in your personal life and at work.
And check out this quote from Google's Josh Woodward because it just perfectly captures this huge shift. This is so much more than just another web search. AI is starting to move beyond generic information and is beginning to understand the actual context of your life. It's using your own photos and your own emails to solve your specific problems right in the moment you need it to.
So how does this actually work? Well, you can think of it like a personal detective. You ask a kind of messy, real-world question, and Gemini just dives into your world, connecting the dots between your photos, your emails, and everything on the web. It's like having an assistant who actually knows you, who can dig up that old receipt or remember the exact model of your car, and then just gives you a simple, useful answer. That is a whole new level of what we're calling personal intelligence.
And this exact same shift from tool to teammate is happening at work, too. Take software development. An AI like GitHub Copilot isn't just finishing your sentences anymore. It's not just a code completion tool. It's becoming a strategic partner. With new features like Plan Mode, developers can actually brainstorm with the AI, map out a whole plan together, and then build it as a team. We're talking about a complete reinvention of the creative process here.
Okay, so AI has a job. What's the next step in growing up? It's time to go to school. And, just like with any new student, there are two very different philosophies emerging about how AI should actually fit into the classroom.
On one side, you've got this top-down approach. You have OpenAI partnering with entire governments to build future-ready education systems, rolling them out from the national level down. But on the other side, you've got a completely different bottom-up approach. Anthropic is working to empower individual teachers, positioning them to be the co-architects of AI tools in their own classrooms. It's really a fundamental disagreement about who should be in the driver's seat.
And this quote from Wendy Kopp at Teach for All, who's partnering with Anthropic, really gets to the heart of that bottom-up philosophy. The whole idea is that teachers, they know their students best. So empowering a teacher in Bangladesh to build a fun, gamified math app, or helping a teacher in Liberia create an interactive climate curriculum that ensures these AI tools are actually solving real problems for real students.
So, AI is at work, and it's in our schools. But what in the world is powering this massive global transformation? Well, behind the scenes, there is this absolutely staggering economic and engineering engine running the whole show. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the business of AI.
Okay, let's just let this number sink in for a second. In 2025, OpenAI's annualized revenue is projected to be over $20 billion. Now, to put that into perspective, it was just $2 billion back in 2023. That is a 10-fold increase in only 2 years. The scale and speed of that growth, it's just almost unheard of.
So what's the secret sauce behind this kind of explosive growth? It's what's known as the AI flywheel. What's so wild is that OpenAI's revenue growth is almost a perfect mirror of their growth in raw computing power. You see, more compute leads to better models, which brings in more users and more revenue, and that revenue is then used to buy, you guessed it, even more compute. It's this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle that is just driving the entire industry forward at an absolutely breakneck pace.
And under the hood, this engine is running at a truly frantic pace. I mean, just look at this timeline of updates to Google's Gemini API from a single month. New models are being launched, updated, and even shut down in a matter of weeks. This is not some slow, steady, predictable process. It's a relentless, high-speed churn of innovation. Okay, so with all this power, all this speed, and all this money, we finally reached the last stage of AI's coming of age, learning the rules. Because when a technology becomes this influential, the race is officially on to write the moral and legal code that's going to govern it.
And one of the most fascinating ideas out there is to build the rules directly into the AI itself. That's exactly what Anthropic is doing with what they call a model constitution. Think of it like a set of core values that's written for the AI,
a foundational document that teaches it why it should be helpful and safe, not just a simple list of do's and don'ts.
And what's really important here is the hierarchy of these values. For their model Claude, being genuinely helpful is actually the last priority on the list. Before it can even think about being helpful, it has to be compliant with guidelines. Before that, it has to be ethical. And at the very top of the list, it has to be safe. It's a pretty clear and powerful statement. In this new world, safety has to come first, period.
But look, these internal company principles, that's just one piece of the puzzle. All around the world, governments are now stepping in to write the official, legally binding rulebook for how these incredibly powerful systems can actually be used.
And this brings us right to the middle of a global debate. In one corner, you've got Europe, taking a slow down and regulate approach. They're really focused on getting the rules just right, even if that means moving a bit more slowly. But in the other corner, you have the US, with its speed up and compete philosophy. The concern there is that too many rules too soon will stifle innovation and give other countries a competitive edge. It's a really high-stakes race, and honestly, there's no clear winner in sight. So as AI grows up and becomes this central engine for our world, we're left with one final and, I think, really crucial question. Who gets to write the operating manual? Is it going to be the companies that are building it, the governments that are trying to regulate it, or maybe the people, us, who are using it every single day? The answer to that question is going to define all of our futures.